But you know what is good? Barbecue! Going to be playing Junkrat for us. 1900-ish. Sure, we'll say it. We'll go with it. He's wearing the toasted skin. Pretty good skin. Okay, he's on the computer. Let's see what he does.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture.
Oof. You gotta use it. Thumbs the rules. This is a very odd decision of attacking point. Alright, not bad. You hear stuff, you hear an ash shooting to your left. Worry about that. Don't worry about this corner. I would also say when doing ricochets, I learned this in TF2. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times, you shot in the same exact spot. If the first one didn't hit, more than likely, none of them are going to hit. So when I played Demo Man semi-professionally in TF2, or professionally, whatever you want to see it was, whenever I would basically barrage, and I do this with Junkrat still, when I barrage a spot, and let's say I'm looking up in the air, I will barrage. And I kind of make a trapezoid in the air. Essentially, I do this because I want the enemy to see a shot over here. And I'm saying this like this is basically what I'm playing at. Like if I wanted to shell an area, I'd be like, all right, over here, over here, over here, over here. Most of the time, I want to stop advances. A rhombus? Yeah. Whatever. Whatever, I don't care, it's a shape. All squares are rhombuses, all rhombuses are squares. Stuff like that. Essentially, I shoot over here, and more than likely, the enemy wants to advance. And they're going to advance in like 1 of 3 directions. Most people will sidestep. Very few people have the confidence and know-how to look at a shot and be like, I can get under that, I'm going to move forward. So this is just less likely. Moving in at an angle, also, it's a little bit too far away. So I always go to the right. That's why my second shot's the right. And then I go to the first shot, because people are like, alright, he's not shooting here anymore, they'll probably pressure this area. And then it goes over there, and then I just have this other shot, essentially to cover for the same thing on the opposite side. But more importantly, I don't shoot the same spot 4 times in a row. Just because, why? If they're gonna miss the... Ooh. There you go. So, while we were discussing about that, we probably forgot about that previous point. Remember when I said watch out for stuff to your left because that's where your combat going and you shouldn't worry about this right here? That's what I meant. You get shot from the left. You get Genji from the left. Remember where the main focus of combat is? And then focus on it. But yeah, so that was just kind of like the random shot pattern that I figured out. It's mainly used for long distances. Just to give variance. Okay. Okay, you are... I like the punch. You are exhibiting the low SR issue of running at your target, and you just exhibited there again. I will say... Oh, that was pretty good shots for a fucking 1900 level McCree. don't... I do this example all the time. If you ever watch kids play soccer, all fucking 9 or 11, however many players soccer at the time, what they do is they all run they run at the ball, and no one's playing their position, right? But they're kids, like they're expected that. Well, I don't know if you're not a kid, but I'm gonna assume you're not a kid. Look, you're running just straight at them, constantly. You're running straight at the ball without second thought. Understand you have a role to play. Oh, get off that table. I know you want to run at enemies to get higher accuracy. Also, where's my pause button? If you ever move forward, and you're going to move backwards, at this forward spot, throw a trap. So, you moved all the way up to that little bridge, throw a trap somewhere. Oh. Alright, get the hell out of there. Okay, not bad. This isn't a bad choice. But did exactly as you wanted to right there. So, oh, shot in the face. So yes, don't just charge at people as a Junkrat. I've seen this time and time again with lower SR players, and I mean, it is a constant issue. Am I just reacting to the Junkrat videos? No, today is a review night, so people submit reviews to me, and I review them. So, any class, any hero, any rank, I do it all. All of my stuff's on YouTube if you want to watch my old ones. Then go look up there. I also do professional reviews as well, where I go pretty in-depth into tactics and strategy. That's all on YouTube. If you really want to watch, like, a 4-hour video of an in-depth review of one of the old pro games or something like that. But yeah, don't charge straight at people. You don't suffer from fall-off damage. I get that you're going to be a little bit more accurate, but chill back, do your job. Try to make your shots count from farther away. Where are you going? Oh, that's so risky. You're not even looking to your right. That was an enemy McCree. Fuck it, you got 2 kills. Alright. I get that somehow in hell that worked out. Alright, by some grace of God, shit lined up. And he gets rezzed, like it was meant to happen. Don't... Barbehque, don't ever fucking do that again. I don't care if it worked. One... It was a blind jump. You had no idea where anything was or what's going on. 2, it was a blind landing. You're lucky that they were so... It was that Save It Private... Or no, it was Band of Brothers. Shit again. Where you did something so crazy, the enemy didn't expect it. You kind of did it again there. You're getting a little bit too excited. Again, do your job from a little bit farther away. But yes, so... What are you aiming at? You're gonna have to reload. Try to have... Die at least next to her. Perfect. Not perfect, but best of a bad situation. Where was that? There's just so much crazy shit going on. I lost count. Don't do that either, right there. You just did. That'll get you shot in my SR. You don't know if he meant to die next to Diana? I'm pretty sure he did because he ran up right against her. Yeah. Fortify the Risa. Okay. So now you're running into capable hit scans, at least that are, you know, a little bit more capable, and they're killing you. So that's what happens when you make these blind assumptions. Just, I get that you want to be confident Oh, get headshotted. I just want you to get headshotted once. Just right there. Pop. Right in the kisser. Something sleeping to your right. Alright, throw down a trap here. Alright, trapping the top of that ramp's a good place to do that. Trap this hallway. Orisa's still alive behind you. You're having a hard time keeping track of her? That's a good one. Needed to wait a smidge longer for you to get extra damage off on that. That still gets me to this day, as sometimes the detonate concussive mines a little bit too early. They are currently the slowest projectile in the game now. There you go. That's Junkrat. Oh, okay. Your Widow had your back. She got the kill for you. Yeah. Look, just use that from cover. You're getting real excited here. Detonate. You had no reason to run up there. So it's Junkrat's actually pretty good from the low ground in these scenarios. He's actually one of the better heroes at the low ground. That doesn't mean you want to attack from the low ground to the high ground, but he can actually do something. You can stay in the low ground and pelt the high ground, especially on this point. This left, like, oh, okay, well you had to. Because you can shoot straight up the ramp and you can hit that choke point. Don't be afraid to, use that for all it's worth. I watched this. I saw him lose, so okay. Damn, I thought after that grab you were actually gonna get a win there. You tend to go back to my streams and watch them after you're done. Does that help you with any of your Twitch metrics? Yeah. Yeah, if you like Twitch metrics, I mean, I don't really measure how much people watch my videos, but if you're worried about like ad revenue and whatnot, I mean, yeah, it all helps. It helps somewhat. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I've been. That's how you watch my videos. That's how you watch them. I mean, I upload random stuff to YouTube as well because some people just don't like watching Twitch videos. I get it. Y'all don't use y'all's abilities on cooldown. I will say the guy needs to trap more. I don't know if you're trying to get extra height out of that, but you need to jump when using concussive mine. And here you go. Watch the Hanzo. Again, just overly aggressive to try to mitigate your poor accuracy. And that's not meant to be an insult, that's just a lot of Junkrats do that. Okay, so what you can do normally is, let's see if you do it here. When you turn the corner, take a couple shots, throw a concussive mine, and then back out that same way. What I'm going to bet you do right here is I'm going to bet you charge this Orisa. You're going to shoot her once right now. You're going to shoot her twice. Run up concussive miner, and maybe you get away, maybe you don't. I'm feeling a little spiteful today. I'm betting you get killed, or I'm hoping you get killed. Yes. Yes! You died! So... it's okay to turn the corner, to shoot a bit, throw a concussive mine. If you get nothing, alright, it's cool, you get nothing. But stay alive so you can at least attack again. That was close. Tire? This is the spot you would run a tire from. Again, that was your detonating concussive mine too quickly. And also remember, with concussive mines, the enemy has full control over the movement. If the enemy reacts properly, you will never get an environmental kill with Junkrat's concussive mine.
Group up here.
With traps, I try to leave them in spots I expect flanks to come from so I can keep tabs on them. Barbecue, no, that's one way to use traps. That's perfectly valid. Oh, just kill her. Go for a kill you can get. Alright. Don't be afraid to throw a trap in the main pathway, though. Especially when you're using it actively in combat. Stay on the point! Get that capture. Don't... Alright, if there's a man... Okay, you get him. Normally, if there's a man yelling, die, 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 don't run at him. Why does he keep going for the fortified Orisa? So, I don't know. If your team has follow-up, it's okay to do that, but if it's like in the open like that, where no one's attacking her, then you're only going to do 300 damage at max to her. You are getting so goddamn lucky with this. So now's an okay time to flank, but just, you're going to run through it again. Also, there's a Genji above you or Hanzo. Okay. Okay, that's what I want right there. That was... Okay, this is what I don't want. Well, you got the sentry. What you did right there was perfect. You stayed alive, you put some damage on there, you backed out, you went back to the point, and you covered another entry that they're attacking from. Perfect. That's what you want to do. Alright, cool. This one's easy. Perfect! I love these easy reviews. Because what you did was what almost every low SR, and by low I mean like 3500 and below, that Junkrat that I've seen does. He seems aimless. Yep. So, man, there's just, it's so much to correct and it's so goddamn easy. So you do need to aim more. Where do we want to start? Where do we want to start with this? So I can tell you what your symptom is. 1, you have low accuracy. Whoa, the W went crazy. You have low accuracy. 2, I guess this has to do with more position. I should say over aggressive. You're too far forward. Fuck it, this is forward. Fucking trap more. God damn it. Everyone, trap more. I said that I like how I could tell every Junkrat that and is right. What's wrong with your logistics? Essentially, well, technically logistics. It's just, it's again too aggressive. But information, bam. This is where all your fucking issues is. So, 1, you don't suffer from fall off damage. No fall off. So, use it. You have to use you have to use Junkrat's no fall off to your. It's just paramount to what Junkrat does. You kind of got to have faith of where you're shooting and what you're doing, and it's having an effect, even if you don't get all the big kills. You have to understand, as a Junkrat, if you are bronze damage, that is perfect. A bronze damage Junkrat, I think, is the perfect way to play him. Now, why would I say that? Well, because Junkrat A does a lot of damage to shields. B, you deal with splash damage. You deal with area denial. And with that, your goal isn't to kill people, it's to essentially weaken groups of players for your team to clean up. So if you're essentially taking away like 80 health of most people, or like 80 to like for higher targets, I mean it's up to 120, 200 health, you have to understand you're taking people down to like 60 to 70% health, which makes it extremely easy for your team to clean up. If you have a good Genji on your team, the amount of effort they have to put in to kill a 160 hit point target as compared to a 200 is night and day. In fact, it's incredibly easy for them to kill a 160 hit point target. Especially when like it's a 200 hit point hero with low mobility. Like it's not like a tracer. And because of that, well, you're only doing 60 damage and they're doing 150, so of course you're going to fall behind in damage. It's just true for all heroes, and basically with tanks, you get higher accuracy and you get a little more damage done, but overall, you're just looking to weaken targets. You're not there to off them. Now you can, and of course that's the best, but I don't see that as his primary role. Fuck. Words are tough. But yes, so you have no fall off damage, so use that to your advantage. 1, and it sucks to say this, but it is part of Junkrat. Just, if they're stuck in a choke point, fucking let them have it. The job of a DPS player is to make the enemy team, and actually all Overwatch heroes, but more so for DPSers, for every step the enemy has to take, make them fucking pay for it. Make their tanks work as hard as they possibly can to make sure their teammates don't die while you're just shelling the living hell out of them. Your job is to expel the enemy's resources before they get to combat. Junkrat is the only hero in the game that if you have a tank with a shield, and here's their tank with a shield, you can attack from your back lines to their back lines without worrying about the tank. Essentially, when a good Junkrat, when the enemy engages, half of their resources should be used. Their shield should be weak. I don't even care if all their health is topped off. The fact is that you've made all of their supports use abilities. You've made their tanks use abilities. Their off tanks use abilities. They're coming into this fight, and it may look like Junkrat does nothing, but the enemy's at a significant disadvantage, even if no one knows it. Because your teammates usually aren't, even at Grandmaster, your teammates really aren't keeping track of abilities too well. Like if they see a Zarya bubble, they're usually not thinking, "Oh, Zarya bubble, we can pressure her in the next 8 to 10 seconds." And if they attack and they're attacking and they only got like 5-6 seconds to attack and their Zarya doesn't have a bubble, not a lot of people notice that. Same thing with Ana Nade. If you force out her self-healing because of a grenade. Like, there's just a lot that goes on. And the idea is, not just for Junkrat, but for everyone, is to force resources out as much as possible. Junkrat does this really well because he has no fall-off damage, and of course he has the splash damage. So stay at range, start getting some damage off. If you don't see obvious results of your damage, don't worry about it. It happens. A lot of people, if they don't see like kill feeds coming up or big damage numbers, they feel like they do nothing. The truth is, you are doing something, and if you're getting damage done, trust me, it'll come. It's almost all the place. Pyro. You've almost strictly played Pyro, so I've always had this get in and cause chaos mentality, which is probably why I run in so much. Actually, it's Barbehque. It's actually not that. It's from the low percent of accuracy. So what a lot of players do, and you probably have this too, at your rank, you can kind of run in and you can get some kills off, and you can do a lot of damage, and you'll kill a couple people, and you'll die, and you'll be like, oh, that was a good trade. You know what a better trade is? You killing people and you not dying. In fact, that's the best trade. So whenever you flank, essentially flank, I mean at my rank, at top 500, my flanks will usually be I turn a corner, I shoot once, I throw a concussive mine. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. That's it. That is it. Other than that, like I gotta abandon the flank because they have players that can either got hit scans that can kill me instantly, or B, they got, mobile off tanks that will just immediately shut me down. So I gotta flank very quickly and then get the shit out of there. I'm not saying you have to do that all the time, but when you flank, like on the Ilios map, the doorway was here and their team was here, and you would flank all the way in. Just because you have a low, maybe because you just feel like you miss shots, or you don't feel like you have, sorry, like you don't have a lot of Junkrats have this issue. They feel like they don't have an effect at long range. I get that, but the only way to deal with that is to start using long range Junkrat. You can get accurate at farther shots, at long shots. A lot of people don't believe that, but you can. And so the start of that is now when you flank, just flank to here, put some damage out, and then get back into a safe spot and go with your team if you have to. On that Ilios map specifically, what a good route is you get some damage off here, you run away, and actually jump on top of that building, and then deal with them from there. Fiend. Yeah, exactly. You just. This guy's like, but you can jump in and concussive mine out, and it'll be fine. At low SR. Don't fucking do it. There are specific times when you jump in and jump out, and if they have a hit scan, you're dead. That's all. That end of story. If they have not even a good hit scan, if they have a decent hit scan, you will die if you're trying to concussive mine in and out of combat that frequently. They're going to pick up on your habits and you're going to die. So don't just yell willy-nilly like that. If you have to do it, cool, you have to, but in most cases you don't have to. So this is what I want to see from you with flanking, is this non-committal, because frankly you have no fall off, so you don't need to be committal, type stuff. If you find yourself flanking not working, then just be farther back, because shields are pretty damn easy to hit. If they got a shield here, you don't have to be right in front of it to shoot it. You can actually be, well, frankly, anywhere. You can be way back here. And as long as you can hit that shield, it's doing max damage. Fiend, I'm talking, yes, from a career GM player, but I'm also talking from the fact that I don't need to build up some goddamn shitty habits, and this in and outness, all of a sudden at 3200, you can't do it. You're like, man, these Masters players can shoot me in the face and I'm dead. maybe this crutch that I've been using my entire Overwatch career, maybe I shouldn't be using it. And then you realize why it's called a crutch, because you've been leaning on it. You got to figure out shit from there. Then you may hit a dip in SR when your tricks stop working. Do you quit Overwatch at that point in time? Some people do. They hit this quote-unquote glass ceiling. But it's a ceiling of their own bad habits. That's what they're hitting. Secondly, prioritize living. This has to do, well, you need to do this with any hero, but with Junkrat specifically, with no fall off and prioritize living, you start seeing what you need to do. Overall, you need to stop being super aggressive. You gotta stop holding down the W button, and you just need to be a little bit more passive. And I'm not saying be passive, it's just that on a scale of 1 to 10, on aggressiveness, you're like an 11. Just tone it down to like 8 at the start. 7 even. But we're not asking for miracles, just lower it just to an 8. It's okay to be aggressive, just not overly suicidal aggressive. Prioritize living. Keep on dealing out that damage. Every time you die, you're not dealing damage. So, sit back, take some shots, calm down. I noticed this a lot, and maybe this is just projection, but I'm going to tell you what I tell everyone. What a lot of players have, one of the issues that a lot of players have that run into the center of combat is that as you run into the center of combat, you'll have enemies all around you, and you kind of don't know what the fuck to do. You kind of get confused, you kind of get scared and stressed out, and you just do stuff, and you do something crazy and hope it works. Why that is because you have so many variables all around you, and you don't know what to do. You don't know the correct decision, and even if you're good, you're just kind of throwing a dart at the board and seeing where it lands. This has to do with information. How do we fix this? The patented, true method of pick a side, cleave towards the center. What this does, and again, this is a Wing Chun concept. I didn't invent this. Essentially, there's too many variables out in front, and you need the ability to look at all of them or see all of them, and at least constrict your viewpoint to that where you can get the proper information. So if you pick a side, and you'll see me do this every single game, is that I pick a flank, and then I see what's going on, and I can see the entire battlefield, and I'd be like, alright, I can make a proper decision, because I have the correct information. And then I make a decision. Yes, these enemies over here are a lot safer from me, because I don't have a direct ability to attack them. But these enemies are a lot more vulnerable to me. And not only that, but I can account for these variables, and I can usually put them out of the way where they won't hurt me, and I can start creating advantages over here for my team. So that's what I would do. Pick a side, cleave towards the center. It just makes... the proper decision will come to you more frequently as you do this. And eventually, as you play longer and longer and longer, you'll learn, and you can start making more decisions. Maybe you don't got to flank so far to one side. Maybe you can just go over here, and then go to the center, and you can make better decisions like that. Essentially, it's a learning tool that allows you to learn, because I also learned this in martial arts. One thing I'm really good at is taking a fall. Man, I can fall like a crazy son of a bitch. It's wonderful. And while this sounds like a very odd skill to have, it's actually the best skill to have as a martial artist, because as I'm being thrown, I'm learning. So technically, I'm learning 40 to 50% more than the other people in class, because I'm learning while I'm being thrown. As you prioritize living, you're going to play Overwatch more. Flat out, you're going to be playing the game more and more and more. I don't really have to draw any conclusions from this, but you're going to get better faster because you're playing more Overwatch. That's it. It's very simple. prioritize living. It helps you. It specifically helps you at the lower ranks because you learn faster, and at the higher ranks, it gives you more opportunities to deal damage. So while it is a training device, understand that long term, it is the correct way to play. Not saying that suicidal tactics don't help eventually, and sometimes it is an answer, but it shouldn't be your go-to answer. What else? Traps. Your tires. With my current advice for tires is take what is given to you. And people in chat know that I say this a lot. They'll be like, "Oh, should I focus supports with my tires? Should I focus DPS? Should I support tanks?" The truth is tires really easy to deal with. As you get higher and higher rank, it becomes less and less effective. If the enemy gives you something, as in you see a support out of place, a tank out of place, you see an overextension, use it. Don't go for that big, 5-person multi-kill attire. What really helps is during the battle if you kill 1 or 2 people. It's funny if I say, "Oh, what if you only played 5v6? Everyone will be like, "Well, it's impossible for the 5 people to win." Right? Almost everyone gives up in a game if someone leaves. 5v6, they can't win. It's funny that people believe that, and then when you solo ult, people say it's really dumb. Because you're doing the same thing. You're making a fight a 5v6. So don't worry about solo ults. Just kill someone and more or less reduce a variable. Just like this confusing situation, when you dive into the center, you have 5 variables to deal with. 6. So you got a full team. If you remove 3 of these variables, this becomes a lot simpler. You actually don't even need to pick a side and flank. You can just attack it directly because you have the numbers advantage and you have less variables. You can figure it out. You know what they can do because it's simpler. Removing variables is very, very useful. In fact, you'll see me solo ulting a lot of people every day. And my whole thing with it is reducing variables and just getting that 5v6 so my team can win the fight. There's other tire advice, but we can skip it for now. Do you have any questions? Because people can still complain about solo ults at higher ranks. I don't know. You have to talk to someone that is in chat or has text enabled. Killing enemy who's playing really well. Yep, there is some of that match by match learning that you can do, and yes, if they do have some carry that's just killing everyone and removing that variable, yes, that's a very good way to get to the game. I'm trying to think of any, but you really did hit my biggest issues I have. Straight up. Okay, so at the end of my reviews, I want you to work on one thing. Because if I try to correct multiple things, like, I'm going to put this on YouTube and you can go back and look at it and try to fix other issues that I've talked about. But the truth is, humans don't learn that way, and just you're not going to do that and get any use out of it. What I'm going to tell you is I'm going to tell you to fix one thing, and I want you to practice fixing that one thing for like 3 months, and then submit another review, and we can talk. Because you're going to try to fix it, and it's not going to work, and you're going to try to do this over and over and over, and it's going to take 2 or 3 months to fix it. So, for you, very, very simply, is your aggressiveness is the source of every single issue you have. This running up in someone's face and shooting them, and I think that stems just from Junkrats at lower ranks have lower accuracy, and you feel like you're not doing much unless you're killing people, and you just don't see that obvious positive reinforcement of killing people, so you go up close, you get some kills that way, you accept your suicidal death, you try to trade. It works sometimes, doesn't work others, but you just feel like that's the way to play. That's what you have to work on. You have to. Even if it gets you out of whatever you're in, silver, wood, whatever rank you're in, it's going to immediately stop, probably at like 3k. So for that, how do you work on that? Sit back a little more, have a little bit more patience. Take your time. When is the zoning? Well, let me work on that one first, or let me work on this first. Yeah, just you need to sit back, put some damage on the shields, put some damage into where their enemy team is at. You know, you can do that. All the little aiming stuff, like better timing on your concussive mines, just aiming better at long range. We can talk about those, but I can't tell you anything right now that will fix it. Right? Aiming comes with time. And with this model, with the apply model, like I designed this specifically because it's based on Sun Tzu and other martial arts stuff. It's based on how to fight someone who's mechanically superior than you and win. Right? Because here's the aiming part, and we really can't actually, like, I can't teach you to aim better. I can't. We can discuss it. We can talk about it. That's about it. It's up to you to understand that aiming is taking a point over here and putting that to the center of the screen. You getting this movement in your head and muscle memory so that you can do it often. I can't like make that happen to you. You have to make that happen. But we can talk about it. But understand that wherever you shoot from, you're going to be in a position. It could be a poor position. It could be a good position. But we want to leverage positioning because there's only two things you can count on in this game. The first is you. You can count on you. That's about it, though. You can't count on anyone on your team. You can't count on anyone on enemy's team. You can't control people. The other static variable is the map. That's where the positioning is at. The map, unless it goes through a change, doesn't change. Essentially, if once the map gets loaded up in your game, that map ain't fucking changing. So you base it on position, because it's very static, it's very reliable. You work on you. Logistics, that is, how do you get to where the position's at? Right? Think about every 2CP map. There's a choke point, and there's usually a high ground. The enemy defends this high ground. Positioning, or logistics, is you getting over here to launch that second attack. I guess in this case, it's specifically to Anubis. This is the logistics phase. It's also the most important phase. It's the phase where people are the weakest at. Also, if you want to know why they nerfed Ana's Nano Burst, or Nano Boost, did they do it at the damage layer? Nope. They did it at the speed layer. Why? Because it has a bigger implication of nerfing. But all of these decisions are based completely on the information you gather, which is number one decision. This is the most important thing in the game, is information, understanding what the enemy team is doing, how they're doing it, what do they want to do, what do they hope to accomplish. That is key. I always do the really ridiculous example of, imagine a team. Here's the point. They're all up here, and they're all defending this way. All of them. All 6 of them. They're just defending this front. Guess what? Your team's on point 2 capping. Right? They just had the wrong fucking information. Guess what, guys? We lost point 1. We should be defending point 2. Right? It's a very, stupid analogy, but that's basically what it's about. All of your decisions, you can talk about all of the decisions you want and what your team is doing. Most importantly is the information of why they're doing it and what do they seek to get from it, from doing it that way. That's what you got. So again, correct the information, correct the logistics, correct the positioning, and then at that point, aiming should be down. Like if I was talking to a pro, we don't even talk about aiming because that mechanical skill is ingrained to them so hard that we don't have to worry about that. You just worry about decision making at that point. And the other thing is, aiming and mechanical skill, it waxes and wanes with sickness and age and all of that stuff. So, understand that it's at the top because it is one of the most important skills to have in an FPS game, but at the same time, it is subjected to how you're doing that day. You don't want to base all of your content or base all of your ability on that, but it is top, it is the most important. So it's this duality of you have to have incredibly good mechanical skill, but if you depend on it too much and to get you out of a lot of situations, you're going to develop and do some bad decision making. But that's a lot of discussion there. More importantly, stop fucking running at people, Barbehque. Stop it. Sit back, understand what the enemy is doing, and understanding that's what you have to work on. Understand if the game gets too complicated from you, pick a side, cleave towards the center. Work on getting information and making proper decisions from that. Understand the skill set you're trying to develop. Most people, I'll just say this. Most people in Overwatch, they just want to win. They don't want to be good. I would say 90% of the Overwatch community is like this, if not more. No one wants up to be good. They just want to win and have a high SR. And they're like, I'm the greatest. I got this SR, yada, yada, yada. It's just... And the truth to be told, that's what a lot of people are like in a lot of skills. They don't want to be good. They just want to make money. And that essentially means they're good. But it doesn't. So you have to build a foundation of skill. And the only way to do that is putting time in. That's it. There's no secret, there's no tip, there's no trick. Put effort in, and you will get results eventually. So work on the simple stuff. Not the simple stuff. I guess it is the simple stuff. If it's simple, it means it's fundamental. So that's what you gotta work on, your fundamentals. Decision making, how do you work on that? Sit back, look what's happening, make a decision, react on it. But with Junkrat specifically, we're saying, all right, your decision making should be from a little bit farther away. Because you have that luxury with this hero. That's the kit. That's what I got for you. That's the one thing I want you to correct. Do you have any other questions, sir?